Hey, residents of Meepletown. We're in the Pacific Northwest, and we are going to be...
I love the Pacific Northwest.
I do too.
One of my favorite areas of the country.
It's pretty. We're going to be drafting wildlife tokens. We're going to be taking some habitat tiles. We're going to be putting them together to kind of line them up and create the best area with animals that we can.
That was anticlimactic.
It was, I know. We're going to get a lot of points in Cascadia. Let's get to the table and check it out.
All right, Meepletown, we have Cascadia set up. We are ready to play. Are you excited about this, Dean?
I am very excited.
You're very excited? Is that what you just said?
I did.
Wow. All right, let's do it. Okay, so this game is a victory point game, like so many other games. But the interesting thing about this is, at the end of the game, we'll go over this. We're going to be scoring for our tiles that we're laying, but also scoring for the tokens that we have that we're going to be placing on top of the tiles. So what we're trying to do with our tiles is to get the largest contiguous groups of the same thing. At the end of the game, whoever has the largest scores point, but you also score 1 point for every one in your biggest set. When it comes to these tokens, we're going to score based on these cards, and those cards are different every game. There's 4 of each of those animals. So
and the art's all different too on them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the art components.
I'm just saying.
You're just so excited about that you're ready to go. So this is how simple this game is to teach. All I'm going to do on my turn, here, let's just do this. If it's a fox, it's you. If it's a hawk, it's me.
You remember which one was which?
Me. Yep, oh, I do remember. I do remember, I think.
How convenient that was.
Okay, so all we're going to do, I'm just going to choose one of these, but I have to select the pair of them. Mm-hmm. Unless I have these little pine cones, they can break the rules a little bit. I'll talk about that when it happens.
All right.
But when I do select one of those, it has to go, and I have to have a side that's orthogonally adjacent. That's adjacent. I can't just like put a diagonal weirdo like that. Also have to place, I don't have to place this token, but I'm going to want to place a token as much as possible. If I don't place it, it is out of here, mister.
Get out of here.
Remember heavyweights? And fat is out of here, mister.
I don't remember that line.
No, that movie
I can see it in my mind right
absolutely incredible. It's an incredible movie. Okay, so something to think about as we're laying these out. With the salmon, we're going to score for runs that we have. And we can have multiple runs. If we have 5 or plus, we're going to score 17 points.
Hopefully we don't have multiple runs.
I hope not. Here we're actually looking to get elk in a straight line. Boom, just like that. Scores per elk in a straight line. Yeah, anyways, so... Is
that right? 2 all the way up to 13 points. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Okay. I have a really bad glare. I hope it's not on camera, but I don't think it is. But from this angle, it's very hard to see what it actually says. Here we're going to be putting hawks, and the hawks cannot touch each other if we don't want them to score points. But they also need to be in direct line of sight, meaning in this game, like straight line, flat line to flat line. I can't just kind of go over crazy, so it kind of has to be in an actual line there.
Ooh, I've not played that one before.
Yeah, that's a new
They
one.
all have to be in the same?
No, it just has to be for every one that you have. So if you have, so it says for each hawk that is not adjacent to any other hawk and has a direct line of sight to a hawk.
Okay.
You just have to have a hawk to a hawk. And whenever you have that, those you get 2 of them, 5 and 3 and 4 and so forth and so on.
Okay.
We want to have pairs next to the foxes in this one, which is a little different than the one that you played the other day, and groups of bears. So, with that being said,
Bears beats
Battlestar Galactica. I'm going to take this and this because I can have the water next to here, and hopefully I can build some more mountain area. Now, I have to place the token on a spot that allows me to.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? And here's what makes me nervous is like, man, I got a lot of salmon there. I guess I got a couple other animals, but you can hose yourself to where you're like, oh, I don't have a place to put this. But there we go. There's my little hawk.
I gotcha. You're just going to...
Oh, look at that.
Refill it?
Right now.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. The hawk.
A bear?
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
All right, bear with me, Meepletown, because Dean's going to take a minute.
All right, I'm going to take... I thought I had in mind what I was going to take. I think I was going to take what you had. Let's see.
This is kind of the crux.
You can't have fox pairs around that, can you, either?
It says it says foxes do not count, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I really wish you would have left
I haven't used the
one
bear one before. It's apparent, I guess.
All right, I'm going to take this one right here.
Okay.
I'm going to take this. Ooh.
You're definitely taking that?
Yep,
Okay,
I'll take
I'm just
it.
going to replace.
I should have thought about all of the things with this one. I forgot that I'm putting the elk on here. I actually wanted to have the bears together, but that doesn't do me any good now. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to put this down here. Yep, I'll do that.
Cool.
I'm just going to put it down here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this right here, but we'll figure it out.
See what happens.
Figure it out.
Do some bears, maybe.
We got some bears.
All right, so I'm definitely taking this because I have 3 that can use salmon. So I'm going to take this now, and I'm not going to place it here because the foxes need pairs, and I'm never going to have a pair of hawks there because it would not score me any points. So I'm just trying to get you kind of thinking, well, I'm doing what I'm doing. Then I'm going to place the salmon right here, actually. When it has the solo one and little pine cone, when I place it, I grab this. And when I grab this, it's pretty cool because I can spin this at any time to break the rules. So I could take this bear and this bear tile and place it on top of it however I want to. Or I can wipe out any number of the tokens. Wipe off any number of tokens there. So if I'm just like really going for a salmon at the end of the game, I'm like, let's just risk it. And I'm going to toss it. I can do that. The tiles always stay the same, but as I mentioned that, I will say that if we ever have 3 of the same token, the player who's... Wow! What are the odds?
How about that?
Dean now has a decision whether he wants to get rid of the foxes or keep them.
This is a little tough. I think
you have a couple.
I do, and I wouldn't mind that, especially because I can put it up here. Because I'm going to take this tile. I really want that one. I do think I'm going to clear it, though. Yeah, I'm doing it.
You're going to clear it.
Clear them off.
So you're
even
saying,
though I kind of need the fox.
I'm setting them to the side now, and then they will go back into the bag.
I'm just thinking maybe a bear will come out on that one spot that I need. Probably not. Hey, that'll
Salmon,
work though.
though.
I did
like
want
the
the salmon too, so I will stick with what I was going to do. I'm going to go here. That way I've got some bear options here, and I will put the salmon right here. It's my only spot to put it. There we go. Turn over. You don't like that?
I don't know.
I'm not very good at this game, by the way.
Yes, you are. You're fine.
I am. I'm not.
I don't know, barely. Right.
Oh, we forgot to mention that you're supposed to make the sound of the animal whenever you draft it. That's in the rules.
What is that?
That was a salmon.
That was a bear sound.
What is that?
What
does the fox say? We don't have any of those out there.
Yep, that's it. How does that go besides the front? What does the fox say? What is that?
And then it's a bunch of other stuff. Like
yeah. And it's like, yeah.
What's that?
I'm nailing it right now. Game on. Okay. So I could grab this. And
I look like I'm dressed for the Pacific Northwest.
Go all
Would
the
you
way
say?
over here. Let's do this.
I didn't even plan this out, but this looks Pacific Northwest-esque, doesn't it?
I don't know.
You don't?
No, I'm going to grab this so that I can have... This will be a direct line of sight if I can place a hawk there. And then I could... The thing that makes me nervous is I kind of want a bear to start bear groups. But here's the thing. You can't accomplish everything.
You cannot.
And I grabbed this without thinking that I'm going to have to knock out one of my salmon. You know I'm not. I'm going to just do this right now. This is probably... shouldn't. But I'm going to break the rules so that I can grab that hawk right there.
You just cheated?
I broke the rules because I threw a pine cone in. That's what you get to do. Old Squeaky just made a noise right there. So there we go. So if the game ended right now, I'd have 5 points for my hawks. And 2 points for my salmon.
Man. I don't like any of that.
Ooh. You can take the elks out. 3 of them.
Yep, I'm going to do that. Just because...
Baby, bye, bye, bye.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't realize. I have a glare on the other side of the board, so I couldn't see that this was an elk. I really would like
bear
those.
with a bear token. And it's next to the
It
water.
is. I do like that.
I think that's a... Ooh, but there's another salmon.
I do want salmon, and I didn't want that to come out because I can't put it anywhere, and so John's going to be able to just scoop that up. But it's fine. I don't care about that tile as much, so I think I will.
Yeah, I don't love that tile right now.
Let's see. Do I want to go that route or this route? Yep, I'm going to go ahead and do this and just plop that bear right down on that tile that I just took, I believe. Or do I want to put it? Yeah, if I put it here, the thing is you want your water... The salmon's going to, a lot of times, going to be in the water, it seems like, and so I'm leaving a water spot open there.
I hear you. The salmon is like, this is...
That's what I said a lot of times.
I know, these are walking salmon. They have legs through the forest.
Oh, that's what a walking salmon sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is my turn. I did take a pine cone like John mentioned earlier.
Oh, you just drew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now you know what that one is.
There we go. Ooh. What does the fox say? So I really wouldn't mind having the salmon again. 17 points would be nice. What I don't like about this tile is I'd want to put it next to the water if possible, but it's going to make a hawk touch a hawk unless I use it for the fox, which I think is what I'm going to have to do is use it for the fox. I could also go down to the marshland because here's the thing. Like I said before, whoever has the biggest contiguous line scores extra points at the end of the game, and that amount varies depending on what the player count is. Dean's got 3 water, and so do I. So if I place it up here, I take the lead there, but also he's only got 1 marshland. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking through all that stuff. If I'm going to end up placing a fox, I could place it here, I think, because if I place a fox here, I should have a pair, or will have a pair of salmon immediately next to it, which is going to be worth 3 points. So that's going to be my game.
All right.
How about that?
Don't go
a couple more rounds?
Let's do it, fox. No.
Let's do 2 more rounds. I went first, though, didn't I?
Yep. All right. I'm probably going to have to use my pine cone, too, because I really would love to have a bear, but I don't really want either one of those tiles, mainly because I'm wanting to hold this one off to put a salmon tile potentially in there. That's what I'm thinking. So it's tough. I'm going to use a pine cone. We're not even playing a full game. It doesn't matter. I don't need to stress out over this. And I'll winning. Take this one right here.
I'm winning even. I'm going to put this in the app as a win.
I'm going to put this. Yeah, I'll put this right here. I guess it doesn't really matter, so I'll put it like this. And then I'll put the bear here. So I'm actually going to gain my pine cone right back. But I've now got an opportunity to potentially to get my elk line going right here. And then if I can get a fox here, then I would have a pair, which is going to give me a point. So I've got some strategy going on.
Alrighty. So, hey, if the video wasn't sounding the best, it's because I forgot to use our good microphone. How about that?
Yeah, I'm
just using the camera mic on accident. So that's not bad. Yeah. Look, dude, I keep pulling salmon out every time it's my turn.
Boo.
I mean, I gotta take that.
I still can't put salmon anywhere, so.
So I like this also for this because look at there. I'm just gonna take it because now I have, boom. Oh wait, that isn't. Let's do that. Okay, so that'll help me to have 3 in the mountain region, and then hopefully I can spread the marsh out a little bit more. And put the salmon right there. Yeah. Okay. Let's do. I said 2 more rounds a minute ago. So
you're just not putting any tiles out that give me salmon.
You keep getting this choice, though. You gonna wipe it?
I might clear that, yeah.
I could really go for some salmon sushi right now. How about you? Look at that. Man, I'm getting lucky in this game, huh?
Is that helpful for you?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just keep drawing salmon. And
that's the one I didn't want anyway. I was kind of hoping a elk would fall onto this tile. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. I am going to cover up this spot. It's hard for me not to cover that up just because
he's really growing that water over there.
Got that river going. Now I've got some mountains going. And then I'm just going to set this fox right down there, which is going to give me a pine cone. And then once I can get an elk on here, I've already got myself 3 points from that fox. How about that?
Guarantee you I draw a salmon out.
Is that right?
I don't know. Let's just see.
You can feel it. You know what a salmon feels like.
That would have been an epic part of the video if I was able to pull it off. This is interesting. I wouldn't mind having some bears because I could start a little bear area over here, but I don't love that. Yeah,
that area is kind of bare over there.
Yeah.
How dare you? Seriously. You don't need that tile.
The problem is I need this one.
There we go.
But it's not going to be a direct line of sight. If I put an eagle there is the problem. And I don't really want it for the fox. I mean, I could go up here. There we go. Never mind. That was stupid. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Now I'll have a direct line of sight here and a direct line of sight there. And I can use the bear to go right there.
All right.
In your face.
This is my last turn then? Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Last turn. Let's see if he gets a salmon. See if he gets a salmon for his last turn.
Or a hawk would be nice, too.
Elk.
Hey, I'll take that. I guess I do have to take this now. So that kind of messes up my waterway a little bit, but at least it opens up some new opportunities. I'll put it like this. Like this. Like this.
Wow.
Opens up some new opportunities for me, and I'll just plop this down right. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I'll plop it right there. Like that.
I do not like the use of the word I'm going to plop this down.
Plop.
Okay.
Plop it down. All right. So what I have going on, I've got my line of elk going here. I've got a grouping of bears going on.
2 more and he'd have 13 points on
I've got nothing on hawks, which is totally fine because I've got some
You
others.
can't do everything.
You're right. Well, you can.
You can try, but you won't score. Like,
But if I get 2, that's 5 points. That's worth it to at least get 2 if you can.
yeah, potentially.
But
Yeah.
it's really got a special case where it's just one of these tiles, and I need that.
You can start thinking mathematically. Well, let's talk about that in the gameplay. How about
Okay.
that?
All right.
Art and components.
You got to refill this first. It's going to drive me nuts.
Oh my gosh.
We might start talking about what's out there, and we don't have anything.
We do have things out. Oh, look, there it goes. On my turn,
my
too.
goodness. Do you have a place to put it?
No, I don't.
And you don't have
And
this.
that's a problem.
Oh, this game
I
is
could,
mine.
Yeah, I would have loved to have one of those. I could put that there, but I don't.
I've got 2. I'll let you have one.
No. I don't want your stinking pine cones. I don't need your charity.
Art and components.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah, Beth Sobel did the art on this. It's really awesome. I mean, I was immediately drawn in by the box the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Weren't you? And then not only that, but like as Dean mentioned, man, not only do you have this beautiful art on those, they're different.
Yeah. I think for everyone it has like the mirror image of some of them, but then it has like completely different art too. You know what I mean?
So there's one of the foxes, and you see the one down there. Here's another one. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe totally is not the right word, but
And then you got this one that's like
that's a little bit mirror.
yeah,
but still,
like a mirror
I mean,
of this one right here. But who cares? I would much rather have that than just straight up the same art on all of them, and I love that. I think that's
really cool.
that's cool. You know,
I agree.
And not even necessary, but it's just a nice touch because you're not going to see all those every game. You're only going to have one of each of those out there, so just a nice little touch to have. I like it.
Yep, these tiles are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much standard. I like having the pieces, these wood tokens. I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And the cards are good quality as well. Look at that matte finish. How about that?
How about it? Love it. All of it's really nice.
I like the oversized cards too, actually, because you can read it really well and see it at all times because you kind of need to be doing that. So I'm glad they did that. So it's just
I would prefer. So one thing I enjoy games like this that have like the nature theme, and you're not using a ton of plastic, which is really or no plastic. You don't have any plastic in this. Maybe there's microplastics with the cards. I don't know how that works. But anyway, it's all wooden cardboard pieces. I might prefer to have like actual pine cones in the game.
Like actual pine cones? Well, you can.
Just go outside and get some.
Go get some.
No, I have none complaints for this game.
No, and plus, this game is like $33, something like that. A lot of places. So you're talking about they packed a good punch. Oh, here's the bag. I didn't show this.
Yeah.
It comes with a draw bag. Pretty, really, really pretty.
And there's tons of those tokens in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is your jam. A $30 game in that small size box. That's like this game's a 10 for you, I think.
Is it fun though? They're going to find out right now.
It is fun.
I think I started with the art, so you can start with the game.
Yeah. So what are the things that I like about this game? I would say the thing that I love most about this game is this Luna Capital style drafting, which, I guess it would be Cascadia style. I don't know which one came first, but you're drafting
the Luna or the Cascadia?
2 different things. So you have to pick a stack of things. If I want this tile, I also have to take, if I want this, token, I also have to take this tile. There are ways to mitigate that, which is nice with the pine cones, but overall, that's the gist of the game. I really like that style of drafting because it's like multiple layers to think about. You want the habitat because you want to be able to get the points for having the most there, but I might really want this token over here, so that might change my decision depending on if I have pine cones, and pine cones are points, so you don't necessarily want to spend those. I just think that's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's they're really I'm with you. Such tough decisions to be made, but also like what you're saying about the habitat versus the tokens is just simple brilliance. Because I had this token here, this tile here, and I think this was there. I could have gone like down here. I guess I should have done that. Maybe I could have done that to like try to get a direct line of sight for the hawk there. But sometimes the habitats don't match up. And so you're scoring a point for your largest contiguous one. So every time you choose just to go off the rails, you're losing a point, basically, that you could be scoring. And every time you can match 2 up in the contiguous largest ones, it's like it's gaining you 2 points.
Yeah.
And then as I mentioned, when you have the largest one, you score an additional 2 points, 3 points, depends on the player count or whatever. Just so brilliant to go with like these tough decisions of where to place these, because sometimes you go for the habitat, you're like, oh no, but I can't place a bear there, and I need to. I think there's multiple times, even though I've played this game a decent amount now that I'm like, oh, stupid John.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
You like self-deprecation.
I do, and I beat myself. And when I first started playing it, there was a lot of those moments. I was like, oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, and when you play your first game, you might have a lot of those. Like, if this is a game where it is going to benefit you to have played this a lot, and if you're playing somebody who's playing for the first time, you're probably going to destroy them. I think
you'll beat them. Destroy is maybe not the right word.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like whenever we played the first time, I didn't win by like maybe 10 points at the most. It's not like it was like 60 to 100 or something crazy.
It's the feeling of there's no way that I'm going to win this game, because if you make some poor decisions, it can affect you the whole game. And I know that sounds probably a lot more negative than I mean it to. It's for some people that's a huge negative. I kind of like the challenge because then I'm like, hey, I'm going to play this again and I'm going to beat you this time. I'm going to change up my strategy and figure this whole puzzle out. And this game very much is just that puzzle that you're trying to figure out. That's
right. And so here's some things like for fun, when you're looking at these the first time, I'm looking at like the elk and going, okay, if I get 4 in a line, that's worth 13 points. But in the grizzly bear, all I have to do is get them in a group. That's a little easier than getting them in a line, and I can score 14 points as well. Over here, if I get 4 hawks, I score 12. But see, these tap out at 13 and 13. You can't get more than that unless you do. That one, if you do more groups, it doesn't. You can do more groups of them, but it kind of taps out there. Here. Man, if I get 5, I get 16. So you know what I mean? Like those are thoughts that I'm having as I'm trying to look at my strategy and go, okay, it's going to cost me 5 tiles to get 17 points here. 5 tiles gives me 16 points, but the hawks give me more opportunity to score more by adding more. I don't know. Like, of course, I could do more than one salmon run, but
and you might think at the beginning of the game, okay, I'm going to go heavy salmon. Well, you can't really do that. What comes out here dictates your strategy, and trying to stick with that as best you can is beneficial, but if you can't, sometimes you just have to take what's out there and then shift your strategy a little bit. Maybe towards the end of the game, you might say, well,
you have to shift.
I'm going to get two of those just for 5 points, even though it was not anything I was going for the entire game, but it's out there.
Especially at higher player counts.
Yeah. Because you can't plan ahead.
You can't. I was playing a game of 4 the other night, and someone wanted to get, I think Steven wanted to get salmon, and Steve and I were just taking them all, or Jonathan and I were just taking them all. So it was just it wasn't flipping over when he wanted to. There's a point where you just have to go, okay, I just need to go into the strategy. But you have to. If you can't go salmon, okay, what else can I? And I like that. I like that idea of let me make something else, try to make something else work. And then even the whole, I know there's got to be some more salmon in there. I'm going to return a pine cone, wipe all 4 of those out, and just see if I can draw one. Yeah. And I've got my last one to score the biggest amount of points multiple times like that towards the end of a game doing that. So when do you hold on to your pine cones? Yeah. When do you don't? 1 point, listen to this. I beat my wife in the game in the tokens.
Clarify that.
I know. I'm making sure I'm clarifying that. I beat her
that sound clip
on these tiles, on the habitats. I beat her by 1 point on one and 2 points on the other. And yet I had 1 pine cone and she had 4. She ties me, and then that's the tiebreaker.
Oh,
and so it's like, I won in 2 out of 3. You won with the pine cones? But you can.
You can. You absolutely can.
That's points that you're giving up every time you choose to take that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And another thing, we've already kind of mentioned this. I'm just going to mention it briefly. I do like that the cards, that there's 4 different ones and they kind of change. That. But they all, and a lot of games do this. The salmon kind of work in the same way every game. Grizzly bears, fox. They have a commonality between each game. But, you still have to shift your focus a little bit depending on which cards come out. And I like that because it adds variability. Every game's not going to be the same. I've not played the solo mode, and I didn't even look into it until right before we did this video. I think I'm excited to try that, which gives it a little boost for me too, I think.
So here's the thing. This is like a campaign solo mode if y'all want to take a look at that real quick. Hopefully there's no... it won't be spoilers. You have to open to this page to be able to see it. I'm not a big solo mode person, especially whenever there's a lot of things to check on and stuff. Done. In this game, it's that simple. Whenever it's that simple, I love solo games.
You're just taking out the last one.
I love it. Yeah. I love this solo game. It's just I can just keep going. You feel like you're just thinking. You don't even have to think about the other. You don't have to look up, well, I need to move this to do that or whatever. And this game's simple. So I don't fault more complicated games for having to have that, but because of the simplicity of this, you're able to do that.
Yep. Final thoughts. Let's go for it. Why don't you go first?
Sure. Okay, there's a couple things that are jams for me. I love a good medium to medium heavy Euro that I can get like really thinky on, and it's not ridiculous. It's not heavy, but like that it's got pretty thinky. I love that. But I also absolutely love a game that is simplicity, super easy to teach. I can teach this game in no time flat. The most complicated piece is going to be explaining those to people and them understand.
But the iconography is so good, and
So
the
good.
text is fine at the bottom, so you can. The text isn't fully clear. I think. And I haven't looked in the rule book. You've had
It's
to explain
very clear in the
some things to
rule book.
me.
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
clear in the rule book. And the text is kind of small on the very bottom of that
Yes.
card. But anyway, you could teach this as a gateway game. But yet it has very difficult decisions in the game. So much of the time I'm like, I want this tile, but I want this, but I don't want to give up my pine cone. Oh, what do I do? I don't know. Which way should I go? And it's just simple brilliance. If you want a thinky game that you can teach to anyone, which again, those are my jams. Like I love that. That's why I liked Renature last year. That was last year. Like I like that part about it. I love this, and I'm a pretty big tile laying fan. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good score for you. Maybe your highest of the
The
year.
highest of the year so far.
Okay.
But
You have
there's
any
a
other
lot of
8.5s,
there's a
or-
lot of Essen games that I want to play. No.
Okay.
I think my other highest score. Now this was barely an 8.5.
Barely.
But see, like I was wrestling between 8 and 8.5. But no, I would say like right now this, and maybe like Luna Capital. I'm trying to think of what some other game like are maybe my favorite games of the year, and I think I like this one a little bit better simply because it's easier to teach.
Yep.
Not that I really like Luna, but which is another tile laying game. Check it out. We have video on it.
So you
Click
think
the eye.
So you think Cascadia
If I
is
remember
the better
to put it
game
in
for
there.
you than Luna Capital?
I just think I would rather have it in my collection.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? This is a game I really think I'm going to get played a ton. I think like there's games that I love that I just know I'm not going to get to the table that much. This one I'm going to get to the table all the time.
Yep. Whew. This is a hard one for me. And part of that is because I can't not compare it to Luna Capital, even though they're very different games. The core
You're laying
mechanism,
tiles and you're drawing two.
the core mechanism itself is like drafting two different things. Luna Capital, you're actually drafting kind of up to 5 things, the card along with the the multiple tiles that are on there. I gave that one an 8. I think I prefer Luna Capital slightly at this point, but unless I play them like closer together, I'm not quite sure where I'm at. The problem is, I think Luna Capital, I probably rated that a little too low. I think I'm more like in the 8.5
Hey, listen,
somewhere around there.
But he gets on to me every time I waver. Just waver. Just turn into me. Just be like, I give Retro Luna Capital an 8.5 now. And so that you can give this an 8.5 like it deserves.
Here's what I think, John. I don't get upset for you for wavering.
Oh, you hate it.
You
spit on
give
me one
a
time.
score on the podcast and then immediately change it on the video like a day later. That's absurd. Absurd. Anyway,
So I think about it a little bit more, hey, you never know what's going to happen around me.
I'm gonna go with this a little bit cautiously. So I'm gonna give this an 8. I think I prefer Luna Capital. I think both of these might be higher by the time we get to the end of the year. Now I have not played this as much as you either, and that makes a big difference for it.
I bet you
played
would
it
get this to the
multiple counts.
table more, though. But that doesn't mean you like it better. I'm just saying, I bet you would get this to the table.
Luna Capital does have a little learning curve for how those tiles
No
work.
slide on
and
that
this
game.
Is,
That game's great.
Yeah, and this is much clearer, more streamlined than that one is. But I'm going to be at the same score. I'm guessing both of these games will be in my top 10 of the year by the time we get to that point. Probably even high on the list.
Wow.
I've not played this as much as what you have. I've still played it several times, but I feel like I need to get more plays and feel more comfortable with giving it a higher score. So that's an 8 from me. That's an 8.5 from John. Are you disappointed in me, John?
A little. I mean, usually.
I don't think I'm quite as hype on this game as you. However, yeah, it's a high 8. I'll say that, and I'm guessing it's probably going to rise.
I mean, you bought
I'm
it.
guessing both of these games are going to rise.
You immediately bought it.
I've not bought it. No.
Oh, I thought you did.
Mm-mm.
You're going to go buy it, though.
I've not bought this game.
I thought you said it was coming in the mail or something.
I haven't bought this game. I said it could be a Christmas gift, is what I was saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It could be a
We were having two
Christmas
different
gift.
conversations.
You don't listen to me. All right. 8 from me, 8.5 from John. Tell people how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying the channel, we would love you to subscribe to it. Go to patreon.com/MeepleTown if you want to support what we do at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Board Game. Nope. And wow, that was so fast I threw myself off. And we're Board Game Geek Guild
That's the goal.
3407.
Trying to throw people off. Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/Meepletown. To follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, find us at Meepletown Games. Finally, to connect with us and other residents of Meepletown, you can join Guild 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. Until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.